I would like to say, too, that and this is not any kind of diss, of course, but I was quite surprised when I was speaking with Mark about military matters earlier that he did not know what the word attrition meant when I said it. And I suppose, I'm trying to think, I guess I can't say for sure, but I think I knew what that word meant before I became, very, very interested in World War I. But then again, maybe I didn't, but I would think any kind of military man would. He was also as disappointed as I was. Again, this is why I kept talking to the man, when I told him that they had stopped teaching Morse code as of 2015 throughout all fields of the military. And, I just think that obviously it's still useful. There's a 0% chance that that is not a useful communication tool. Again, one of the hang-ups of the beginning of World War I, was, adapting to new technology, and there was no communication. There was no helmets, but there was no, real communication. That's why I love Joff so much, He's like getting a 3-time winning Grand Prix driver in a sports car, driving him around the front lines to all his generals. The man kept no paperwork, none on his desk, none, no map on his wall. And laconic speaking, a man of extremely few words. And principles that are just astounding. Ben Franklin would be impressed with the man's, personal principles. But Moltke, nowhere near the front lines and no way to communicate. The war games did not prepare them for the fact that, the Paris radio signal in the Eiffel Tower was going to be jammed by the French on purpose, and that it would take 8 or 10 hours for a message to potentially come through. British, brilliant, using the American lines to spy, because Woodrow Wilson wanted an open channel with the Germans, just in case they wanted to talk peace. The most idyllic president, for sure. What a weirdo. Total weirdo. Racist, though, of course. Totally racist. So bizarre. But yeah, Morse code. You know what it is? It's that people don't want to pay attention. I don't think that it's not useful. Maybe putting up flags on vessels, cruise battleships, is no longer useful. Okay? It probably once was, and now we clearly have extremely updated technology. But there's nothing that's replaced Morse code as some kind of code, language, international. It's not easy to learn. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of, it's just not easy. And the circumstances that you're being given these messages under extreme duress, you've just got to be really on your shit to decipher them properly. Because if they're not properly deciphered, you have the Bay of fucking Tonkin. Okay? That's what you have. With accusations of, huge ships being destroyed. And in fact, no American ships were even hurt. And one tiny, speedboat of the Vietnamese was hurt a little bit. And that is the incident. That is the incident that kicked off the entire Vietnam War. I don't think so. Other instances also in the Vietnam War, about things not being deciphered. But it's the short attention span thing right now, It's the fucking TikTok shit. You can't trust those motherfuckers to pay attention, And nobody wants to join the military, as much either. It's not as, prestigious, perhaps, as, for king and country. And, so many of the men who went to war in 1914 were, pacifists or, just complete liberals, but just and didn't go for king or country, but just because they're men and they just had to fight and they just want to fight. You have to be a part of the action. You've got to fight. That's what you just have to do. And we clearly don't think like that anymore, you know? And then there is no for king and country. I mean, that's just like, are you kidding me? You know, I mean, so everything's changed, but still, I don't know. I can't forgive the Morse code thing. I just don't agree with it. I think it means we're weak, which, I mean, but that's a sign of weakness, you know? You're just gonna stop teaching this amazing secret code. And maybe other people, like Germans, for instance, aren't stopping that. They're probably advancing it. You know, because they're not lazy. Just some thoughts. Over and out.